Hello my friends, James Heathers, the Psychophysiologist. How are you? I hope you are fine. I have discovered the magic of video since someone gave me a smartphone and it actually makes a video that's worth watching. It's also the holidays, and in academia that means I'm working on large reference-heavy review papers and other sorts of boring things that stop me from doing any proper writing. So the nice part about that is I can do this. You can watch it. Everything's extremely straightforward. The other nice thing about the holidays is I have a lot of my training gear home from work and from the places that I train. And one thing that I do have all in one place for the first time in a very long time is most of the liniments that I use when I train. Now, there's lots of different reasons to use liniments, and there's lots of different types. But I never seem to see a discussion about why you choose one over the other, or what they do, or whether or not you should bother in the first place. So I've got a few types here. You can have a look. Straightforward. Voltaren Emugel. This is an anti-inflammatory liniment. It's exactly the same as the oral anti-inflammatory diclofenac. I forget what the trade name is, but if you look at it, it will say diclofenac sodium or diclofenac potassium. 1% solution. It's for generally, well, for me at least, it says on the back that it's for the temporary relief of local pain and inflammation and acute soft tissue injuries. That's not strictly true. I find that the best thing that it does is treat compression sorts of injuries. So when I'm doing Zercher squats and my forearms are giving me hell, this is generally what I turn to. It seems to be pretty good for that kind of injury. It's no good whatsoever for joints. And for generalized muscle pain, not much chop either. To be quite honest, overall, I'd say save your money if you're going to use an anti-inflammatory. I wouldn't really bother with something like this, unless of course you have forearm pain for Zerchers. That's the only real reason I buy it. I shouldn't actually say I buy it because I think I got these for free somewhere. So that's just anti-inflammatory. Don't worry about that. Here's the normal liniments, and I classify these as normal or everyday sorts of liniments as opposed to the few that we'll get to in a second. Now, they all have different sorts of active ingredients that are related to each other. This is Dencorub Extra Strength. This is Tiger Balm. You probably recognize Tiger Balm. Most people know that one. This is an Australian vet product called RapiGel. Now, they've got lots of similar ingredients. So what have we got here? We've got methyl salicylate, otherwise known as oil of wintergreen, and menthol in a solution. Lots of stuff in Tiger Balm. There's menthol and camphor and mint oil and clove oil and cassia oil. And it's in a paraffin rather than a gel base. These two are gel based. This is paraffin based. We'll get to why that's interesting in a second. RapiGel is kind of a combination of the two. It's menthol and camphor. Now, if you've got a little bit of muscle pain, but general, everyday, I have DOMS, my etc. hurts, I need to use something on it. One of these two, something gel-based that penetrates the skin fast, is probably what you're after. Things that have more camphor in them, I find, generally need to be worked in a little bit more. It probably has something to do with skin permeability. Neither of them are much chop for really serious pain, but if you're trying to warm up something fairly quickly and you've got a lot of muscle pain, one of these two will do the job okay. As you can probably imagine, the vet stuff per unit is a lot cheaper than the person stuff. Now, of course, I'm not saying you should use veterinary products. All I'm saying is I do, and so does everyone else. Take from that what you will. Tiger Balm's a bit different. Tiger Balm's not gel-based, it's paraffin-based, which is essentially Vaseline. You can see in there, red Tiger Balm. There are two other types as well, incidentally. There's white and black Tiger Balm. Black Tiger Balm is very hard to get, but it's very strong and completely awesome. The white stuff's not really worth bothering with. It's not particularly strong. Because it's paraffin-based, it sticks around on your skin for quite some time. You need to work it quite hard to get it in through your skin. I find Tiger Balm is best before bed as well, because when it heats up, it seems to work better. So if you're having discomfort sleeping, Tiger Balm is usually the first thing I turn to. Normally that lives next to my bed, and these two are for immediately warming up before training. Now there's two other categories of liniment that are more serious than these everyday ones. And the first one, and this is easily my favourite, this is the most effective, Finalgon, a word that fills me with great confidence. I really like this stuff. What is it? It is what we call technically a rubefacient, which simply means something that causes localized redness. And I'm not talking about some nice, pleasant muscle heat. I'm talking about a great big stinking red welt. This is Finalgon Cream, and this is Finalgon Ointment. The ointment's a little bit over twice as strong. There's a little thing that you can't see that says extra hot. They're not joking around. The first time I pulled 200 kilos, it was covered with this stuff. I was hungover and tired and going to a little powerlifting competition that we were holding at the time, and I was only deadlifting because that's all I felt like I was up to. And the first time I had 200 kilos on a bar, my entire back was covered with that stuff. What does it actually do? Well, it's an ester of the B vitamin niacin. And niacin overexpresses a prostaglandin in your skin that gives you a great big fat localized swelling. As far as a heat cream goes, just for general heat on something, a lot of people like the sensation of heat. It's a little bit different to some of the other menthol creams, which is more of a cooling sensation. There's one called Dencorub Arthritis Ice, I think. That it has a lot of menthol in it, and it's supposed to be, and it has a nice cooling effect. I don't believe in that. I like a lot of heat. So this stuff is easily the best for a lot of heat. The cream is a little bit more everyday than the ointment. As you can see, the ointment tube is very well used. They are both extremely good for warming up muscles and joints. This is something that you can use on a joint. A lot of things don't penetrate through and really seem to help joints, but this stuff's so damn powerful. It can get your joints going as well. Hard tissue, as per always, is much more difficult to work with than muscles, as it is in just about every other context as well. I have some other stories about Finalgon, but I have no idea the age of the people who will end up watching this, so I can't tell you quite how they go. Regardless of that, trust me, this is really good stuff. It's not very well known in the strength training community, so it's something of a secret weapon as far as training is concerned. The other thing you need to watch out for is the heat is pretty extreme by itself, but after you put it on and your body starts to heat up, it will get worse. So like any strong liniment, this and the one we'll talk about next, never use too much at the start. You need a little bit less than about the size you'd squeeze out of a toothpaste tube of the ointment. We'll do an area about the size of one of my hands. Now my hands are not small, so something about that size. So I suppose that's 20, 25 centimeters along, maybe 10 centimeters across. If you've got a sore patch, it'd be about that size. Seriously, you need less than a toothpaste amount, however the hell much that is. Now, the one thing I don't actually have here, for shame, the blank part on the table is a capsaicin based on ointment. Now, capsaicin is the daddy when it comes to different sorts of liniment. Capsaicin is extremely effective, and it has a lot of particularly interesting properties when it comes to pain relief and sensitization. We don't need to go into those. The physiology of it's actually very interesting. But I have two sorts in general. One is a normal Walgreens, the US pharmacy chain. There's a normal Walgreen solution, which I think is a 0.15% capsaicin solution, and the other is a great Australian product that everyone who is into hardcore strength sports should know about. It's called Equiblock DT, and it is phenomenally strong. It is 0.25% capsaicin. Both of those figures are from memory. Look them up on the internet. Both of them will cause severe localized redness and the strangest prickling sensations, a little bit like how beta-alanine feels on your face. It's really, really interesting. The nice thing about capsaicin, which is as strong as the niacin-based liniments, the nice thing about it is that there is a sensitization process. So it will continue to work, but become less painful and less disruptive over time. So if you put it on once every day, maybe once every second day for a fortnight or so, you'll start to find that it's a lot less painful over time. It's extremely good, and it's